those fibs, big ones, and ones that are undeniable, and of which there is no escape. So I think it has to do again and again with honesty, but even more important, I think, is the fact that nothing can escape. It's like a black hole. Nothing can escape the bubble of the emails and the honesty issue. Can you cite one policy issue on which people have even noted it's all overwhelmed and smothered by the news on the email? That's her problem. She can't escape the email. And it's hard to see what exactly springs her out of the black hole.
I was just going to say, I mean, you talk to lots of Democrats privately, and their frustration is that against this opponent, she shouldn't be up just 5. She should be up 15. And yes, so obviously she's weighed down by this. I still think the space is large enough to carry her through.
Another thing that she addressed or was asked about at this spontaneous press conference aboard her plane today was Russia's increasing propensity to aggressively cyber attack into our electoral system, intruding not only the DNC email system, but also apparently into our electoral system. Here's what she had to say about that.
The fact that our intelligence services are now viewing Russian activity as a potential threat against our electoral system raises further questions about Trump, and I think those are questions the American people should be asking and answering.
She's alluding to the fact that Trump at one point said that he liked the idea that Russia was intruding into our electoral system, but not for the purpose that she's alluding to there, Charles.
Well, it was kind of an offhanded and rather bizarre comment. You don't want to be telling the leader of an adversary, our leading adversary in the world right now, that it should be intruding into our system, reading our emails, breaking in essentially, as she said, the way Watergate did into the secrets of the party, and then releasing them to the world. It's not a good idea, and I think the fact that Trump has spoken kindly, not just of Putin, but of the butchers in Tiananmen Square. Saddam Hussein is a big hero in the fight against the terrorism, and all this is rather odd and disturbing. So I think it's a good tack for her to take. Let's see if it can escape the email scandal.
But I think Trump's comments were based upon he wanted the Russians to find out more about what Hillary was up to.
Well, I mean, take 3 steps back. Her forebears, her ancestors on the left must be rolling over in their graves to see her red fading. It's the Russians. It's to be afraid of the Russians. Is there a single... I mean, how many people outside Washington look at the world and say in 20 years, our greatest adversary will be Russia and not China? I don't think very many people. I mean, you know, who knows what will actually happen. I just don't think it's a sellable product, actually, the idea that Trump is controlled by Putin and you ought to, you know, be really afraid. He's no more controlled by Putin than she is by China. Which is the greater threat? I mean, let's be real.
But it's not red baiting if Russia is not communist, and it's not communist. It's a different kind of dictatorship.
There was a tongue-in-cheek element here, but right. But be afraid of Russia, I guess. I just don't think
I
many
think
people
there
are.
are more people who are than you
Here
think.
there are.
Yeah.
You don't think Russia has malevolent intent?
Yes.
The one thing that explains just about everything in its foreign policy is a desire to diminish and injure the United States. It connects the actions in Ukraine, it connects the actions in the Balkans, it connects the actions in Syria, connects everything it does, and it is succeeding. It is the biggest threat right now. If China emerges as a larger one in 20 years, I think we worry about that about 10 years down the road. Right now, it is Russia.
But the missing element, I mean, there are many people who wish us harm. The missing element is economic power, it seems to me. I mean, North Korea would like to eliminate us. They can't, they're poor. And Russia is a poor country. I mean, I think Putin's evil. I'm certainly not defending Putin or their intentions. I'm really saying it's hard to see how they've been good on
A
it.
North Korean submarine within 300 miles of Los Angeles can launch a nuclear missile in time, whether it's rich or poor. That doesn't have any effect on the threat. So I don't see why we have to constrain ourselves to worrying about being overshadowed economically. There are a lot of other ways to overshadow and to harm us.
On that note, next up, a rough weekend for President Obama's foreign policy.
It's ridiculous. It shows their utter contempt for the United States and for this president. And when you heard what he said about cyber wars, you really want to weep. He's been in office for 8 years, and he essentially says, well, look, we have the advantage in cyber technology, but we don't want to press it in any way. We want the other guys to live by these norms. The idea that Russia and China live by norms, that somehow Obama is going to educate them into these norms. Russia is helping to commit genocide in Syria, and you expect that it's going to acquire etiquette on cyber? It is simply, it's astonishing that we could have a president who believes this, and it explains why, after 8 years, the great powers of the world, starting with China and Russia, know that they are dealing with an adversary, the United States, its president, who is simply one who does not earn any of their respect.
And Chuck, there was another indignity, pretty gross, really, on the scale of international diplomacy, when the president of the Philippines called President Obama, and I know this is inappropriate dinner time conversation, called him the son of a whore for failing, or for threatening, I should say, to intervene in their human rights record, to observe some frailties in that.
That is a puzzling one. This new president of the Philippines, to cut a long story short, has an extraordinary policy of essentially extrajudicial killings of suspected drug dealers in this country. And I don't think the United States can sit by and allow a longstanding ally who we fund to just conduct itself that way. On the other hand, we do need the Philippines, and we do have an alliance with them. And this guy decided to just push back against our president on that basis. I would say that what struck me about that, though, is that there are a lot of other dictators in Asia that the president is willing to kind of do business with. They're a little less flamboyant than this elected authoritarian in the Philippines.